Mide Oni needs to come to the front because when I tell you that video she did it, let me even just show you what she posted. And this is why it's very cheeky of Andy Amadi, I think his name is, the owner of Trndcentral, Backchat, all this other stuff, and her show Off the Record, I think it was. Do you see the £50 there? It says compensation and expenses. Obviously, she showed like the full contract. She's like, what is there to hide after he's been chatting shit, whatever and stuff. Said the presenter shall not be entitled to any compensation, royalties, or fees in connection with the show unless agreed separately in writing outside the agreement. 3.2 says the presenter shall be paid a flat fee of £50. £50 per episode payable by the company after each episode is filmed. This fee is intended as a contribution towards travel, I'm not gonna pronounce that and butcher it and finish myself. And incidental cost incurred by the presenter and in connection with the show. £50. She also showed other messages as well where Andy was basically trying to gaslight her, talk about, oh yeah, I don't, but all because she didn't want to agree with certain stuff he was doing. He was saying, oh, I don't want it to be that you're being difficult, and how, sorry, let me just move out of the way in case you guys want to read while I'm talking. But basically he was saying like, I don't want it to be a difficult situation because that's something that happened with Zizi as well and so forth. Even though Mide stayed for the foreseeable time with Andy and Trndcentral and Project Gorilla Ltd, it doesn't mean that she still wasn't treated unfairly in regards to what they were doing to her as well. They're telling her she can't promote herself outside the show, saying it's taken away from the company as well. I'm thinking, how the fuck is it taken away from the company when you're not even paying me anything as well? Out of pocket for certain stuff. Then he tried to say that he gave her the stylist. She was like, show me the receipts. Show me the receipts where you gave me a stylist or anything to help me out. Absolutely nothing. And obviously he went on the Winners podcast or Winners Talk pod, whatever it was, one of the podcasts there, and basically had Daisy and Jay from Backchat and also from Blue Therapy on there, basically sat down there. They didn't really say much as well though, but they were mainly just sitting there because I think they're promoting Blue Therapy. And then obviously Andy's now addressing what's happened between him and Mide. And I'm just thinking in my head, like, she is cooking, man. Obviously, there's another part of the contract, sorry, that's another thing. So this is another part of the contract as well. It said after the minimum term, the presenter may terminate the agreement within 30 days of written notice as well. The company may terminate the agreement with immediate effect for breach, misconduct, reputational harm, breach of a morality clause, or failure to comply with obligations under clause 6, or for convenience within 30 days of written notice, which is the same thing. Upon termination, all rights granted to the company in connection with the show shall survive. Then it mentions in section 5, the presenter shall discuss the company in advance before accepting any presenting roles outside. That's crazy as well, sorry. Because when I think about it, this is what she was also talking about as well. They kind of like made her just stick to them. And I'm thinking this type of contract is crazy because there's no way of you kind of like evolving. Because yeah, she had stuff go viral and she should have got paid for that. But if she had got paid for that and stayed, it would have been different. But if you're not paying her, then you expect her to stay and miss opportunities. That's dumb as well. Because he also tried to downplay it, saying, oh yeah, people didn't know about her. And as she's rightfully said, if people didn't know about me, how did you find me? How did you find me? If no one knew about me, whatever. And bear in mind, she also said that she presented her credentials, talk about, she basically was working with BET beforehand and stuff. And I hope she does go back to work with BET because it was a paid role, as she said. But yeah, then it also goes on to say 5.2, the presenter remains otherwise free to pursue other work, provided it does not conflict with the show or the presenter's obligation hereunder. But it's like, she is a presenter, so no matter what she kind of does, it would still, in a sense, conflict with this type of schedule or not schedule, this agreement that they had, because I think they said it's like a whatever agreement it was. Then it mentions the obligations of the presenter. So it said that the presenter agrees to attend all scheduled shoots confirmed between the company and the presenter, acknowledging that the interviews may be timed, blah, blah, blah. Attend rehearsals and promotional. And I'm just thinking, all of this stuff here, sorry, that's listed for free. Absolutely nonsense. And I'm so glad that she left as well, because I feel like her show now is buzzing more now that she left. And I feel like when she was on Trndcentral, as she mentioned in the video as well, basically, they basically stopped her expressing herself as well. Because obviously, when I was seeing her on Trndcentral, it seemed like they made her out to be like confrontational. She wasn't really asking the questions, and she even said sometimes that Andy would be providing some of the questions, and they were the people that meant to be fact checking, and they weren't, because there was a time they did a video with Antonia, I think it was, and Anthos Corner, and they asked her about basically, oh, she kissed a person, and they said that the person threw up or whatever, and that wasn't the case, but that's what Andy had told her prior to that. And then Antonia had to basically correct it on her platform, not platform, sorry, on while she's getting interviewed, and said, no, that's not what happened, this is what happened, and said, And obviously, now that we're seeing her with her own personal platform, she's got 1.5k subscribers on YouTube. I feel like people should subscribe to her page. But like, now that we're seeing her outside of Trend Central, you can see that more she's more herself. She's more relaxed. She's speaking, I think she speaks Yoruba. She's speaking Yoruba. She's switching. You know what I mean? Like, she's doing a lot, and it's actually really good to see, because on the show you could tell she's just kind of like sticking to the questions. She's not really doing what she's doing here in regards to like showing more of her personality, which I like.